Stop. Before you take another pill or visit another doctor, you need to know this story. What if I told you that everything you were taught about modern medicine was designed not by doctors, but by oil tycoons and industrial giants? One man, one report, 1910. Half of America's medical schools gone overnight. Midwives criminalized, herbal medicine banned, natural healers branded as quacks. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is documented history, and once you see it, you'll never look at healthcare the same way again. Stay with me while we uncover the story they don't want you to know. The man who wasn't even a doctor. Picture this. It's 1900. America has over 160 medical schools. Some are excellent, others complete scams. You could literally buy a medical degree for the right price. Enter Abraham Flexner. Plot twist. He's not a doctor, never treated a patient in his life. He's just an educator from Kentucky who fell in love with German universities. But here's where it gets insane. The American Medical Association hands this non-doctor the power to inspect every medical school in North America. Think about that. A guy with zero medical training is about to reshape healthcare forever. Flexner visits 160 schools. His verdict, brutal. No labs, no libraries. These places are frauds. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes. John D. Rockefeller, yes, that Rockefeller, is watching, and he sees opportunity. Rockefeller doesn't just have oil money, he has her shape entire industries' money, and he decides, I'm going to control American medicine. Here's his strategy, and it's genius in its simplicity. Step 1, fund only the schools that meet Flexner's standards. Step 2, watch all other schools die from lack of funding. Step 3, create a medical monopoly. And it worked. By 1930, over half of North American medical schools were gone, dead, closed forever. But here's the part that should terrify you. What kind of medicine got eliminated? Homeopathy, naturopathy, herbal medicine, midwifery, chiropractic care. You know, the stuff that had been healing people for literally thousands of years. Suddenly unscientific. One report, one man, one oil baron, and an entire medical tradition erased. But why? What was Rockefeller really after? That answer will shock you even more. The chemical empire strikes back. While Flexner was busy closing medical schools, something else was happening, something that would make Rockefeller even richer. Germany was having a chemical revolution. They weren't just making aspirin, they were creating an entire industry around synthetic drugs. And guess what Rockefeller owned? That's right, chemical companies. Think about it. You can't patent a plant. You can't patent turmeric, garlic, or willow bark. But you can patent synthetic chemicals. Suddenly, the medical system isn't about healing. It's about intellectual property. Fast forward to 1980. The Bayh-Dole Act passes. Now universities can patent discoveries made with your tax dollars and sell them to pharmaceutical companies. Let me break this down for you. You fund the research. They own the patent. You pay inflated prices for the medicine. It's the perfect scam. Take Lipitor, became the most prescribed drug in history, made over $150 billion in sales, but here's what they don't tell you in those commercials. Red yeast rice, a natural compound, can lower cholesterol just as effectively. So can oat fiber. So can consistent exercise. So can eliminating processed foods. Cost of Lipitor, $200 plus per month. Cost of red yeast rice, $15. Cost of oatmeal and exercise, practically free. But guess which one doctors learn about in medical school? Hint, it's not the oatmeal, and that's not an accident. Medical schools get massive funding from pharmaceutical companies. Students graduate knowing how to prescribe drugs, not how to prescribe lifestyle changes. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as designed. But wait, it gets worse. The war on natural healers. Imagine waking up one day and your grandmother's herbal remedies are suddenly illegal. That's exactly what happened. The American Medical Association created something called the Committee on Quackery. Their mission? Destroy alternative medicine. They went after everyone. Chiropractors were arrested. Midwives were prosecuted. Herbalists were branded as criminals. But here's the twisted part. Many of these quacks were getting better results than conventional doctors. In 1900, 95% of births happened at home with midwives. Maternal mortality actually lower than many hospitals. Chiropractors were successfully treating back pain without surgery or drugs. Herbalists were helping people with conditions that stumped conventional medicine. So why eliminate them? Control and money. If people could heal themselves with herbs, exercise, and natural methods, who needs expensive medical schools? Who needs pharmaceutical companies? The AMA didn't just attack alternative medicine, they created a monopoly. By 1950, it was illegal to practice natural medicine in most states. Insurance wouldn't cover it. Medical boards would revoke licenses. An entire medical tradition, thousands of years of human healing knowledge, nearly wiped out in half a century. But here's what really happened to your health choices. Follow the money. Let me show you how healthcare became a business instead of a service. The fee-for-service model. Simple concept. The more procedures doctors do, the more money they make. Think about that incentive structure for a second. Prevention makes doctors less money. Curing diseases makes doctors less money. Keeping you sick and coming back, jackpot. It gets worse. Pharmaceutical companies started paying doctors, consulting fees, speaking fees, educational trips to luxury resorts. In 2019, pharmaceutical companies paid doctors over $9.7 billion. That's billion with a B. But surely that doesn't influence prescribing habits, right? Right? Studies show doctors who receive pharma payments are 2 to 3 times more likely to prescribe that company's drugs. Coincidence? You decide. Meanwhile, what happened to chronic disease in America? 1950. 10% of Americans had chronic disease. 2020. 60% of Americans have chronic disease. We're spending more on healthcare and getting sicker. The system designed to heal us is literally making us worse. But imagine if we flipped the script. What if doctors got paid to keep you healthy? What if preventing disease was profitable? What if natural, low-cost solutions were prioritized? That world is possible. But first, you need to understand how deep this rabbit hole goes. The truth about medical research. You trust medical research, right? Peer-reviewed studies, scientific journals. Surely that's unbiased. Let me destroy that illusion in the next 60 seconds. 90% of clinical drug trials are funded by the pharmaceutical industry. Studies funded by drug companies are 4 times more likely to show positive results for their drugs. But here's the really sinister part. The studies that show negative results, they disappear. It's called the file drawer effect. Failed studies get buried, only success stories get published. So when your doctor says studies show this drug is effective, they're only seeing half the data. It gets worse. Medical journals make millions from pharmaceutical advertising. The New England Journal of Medicine gets 60% of its revenue from pharma ads. Think they're going to publish studies that make their biggest advertisers look bad. But wait, there's more. Ghostwriting. Pharmaceutical companies literally write the studies, then pay doctors to put their names on them. The doctor gets credit. The company controls the narrative. The public gets manipulated. And natural health research? Good luck getting funding. You can't patent turmeric, so who's going to spend $100 million studying it? The result? We have mountains of data on synthetic drugs and almost nothing on natural alternatives. Not because natural methods don't work, but because there's no profit in proving they do. This is how scientific truth gets buried. The underground resistance. But here's what they didn't expect. You can't kill an idea whose time has come. While the medical establishment was celebrating their monopoly, something incredible was happening in the shadows. The healers they tried to destroy, they never gave up. Meet the resistance. 1960s. Chiropractors are still being arrested, but they keep practicing. Why? Because their patients are getting better. 1976. One chiropractor, Dr. Chester Wilk, decides to fight back. He sues the American Medical Association for conspiracy and restraint of trade. 1987. After 11 years of legal battles, he wins. The court rules that the AMA illegally conspired to destroy chiropractic medicine. But that's just the beginning. In back rooms and home offices, naturopaths keep studying. Herbalists keep growing medicine. Midwives keep delivering babies safely. They're building an underground network of knowledge that the system can't touch. The 1970s. A new generation discovers what their grandparents knew. The hippie movement isn't just about music and peace. It's about reclaiming natural health. Health food stores start popping up. Yoga studios, meditation centers. The system tries to shut them down, but there are too many now. 1990s. Something game-changing happens. The internet. Suddenly, the information monopoly is broken. People can share healing stories, research natural remedies, connect with alternative practitioners. The gatekeepers lose control of the narrative. At the same time, Dr. Andrew Weil becomes a best-selling author promoting integrative medicine. Dr. Deepak Chopra brings ancient Ayurvedic wisdom to mainstream America. These aren't quacks anymore. They're Harvard and Mayo Clinic trained doctors saying the system is broken. Patient by patient, story by story. The resistance is growing. 1998. The National Institutes of Health elevates their office to the National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Translation: the government officially admits these methods work. Hospitals start offering acupuncture. Insurance begins covering chiropractic care. Medical schools add nutrition courses. The underground is becoming mainstream. But here's the most beautiful part. It wasn't the institutions that changed their minds. It was the people. Patients demanding better options. Families sharing success stories. Communities supporting their local healers. The same word-of-mouth networks that kept these practices alive for decades suddenly had the power of the internet behind them. What started as an underground resistance became an unstoppable movement. And now, the medical establishment that once called them quacks is desperately trying to co-opt their methods: integrative medicine, functional medicine, lifestyle medicine. Same practices, different names, suddenly scientific. The resistance won, not through force, not through politics, through results, through persistence, through never giving up on the truth. And that's just the beginning of what's possible. The Great Awakening. Despite everything you've just learned, there's reason for hope. People are figuring it out. Chronic disease is skyrocketing, but so is awareness. 60% of Americans now use some form of alternative medicine. Functional medicine is exploding. People are realizing that maybe, just maybe, their great-grandmother's remedies weren't quackery. The research that does get done on natural methods, it's incredible. Turmeric reduces inflammation better than many drugs, with 0 side effects. Mediterranean diet prevents heart disease more effectively than statins. Exercise reverses type 2 diabetes in 70% of cases. Meditation literally rewires your brain and reduces chronic pain. But here's what's really happening. A new generation of doctors is rejecting the old model: integrative medicine, functional medicine, lifestyle medicine. These doctors ask, "Why are you sick?" instead of "What drug should I prescribe?" They're combining the best of modern science with ancient wisdom. And their patients, they're getting better, actually better. The old system is cracking. People are demanding real solutions. But here's what you can do right now. Your power, your choice. So here we are. You know the truth. Modern medicine wasn't designed by healers. It was designed by businessmen. The system that claims to care about your health profits from your sickness. Natural healing methods that worked for thousands of years were systematically destroyed. But you have something they can't take away: choice. Every time you choose an apple over a pill, you're rebelling. Every time you walk instead of taking medication for mild depression, you're fighting back. Every time you research natural alternatives, you're reclaiming power. This isn't about rejecting all modern medicine. Emergency care saves lives. This is about understanding that you are the CEO of your own health. The same system that created the problems is not going to solve them, but you can. Start asking questions. Why am I sick? What are my options? Who profits from my illness? What would happen if I address the root cause? Your body is not a machine that needs fixing. Your body is a miracle that needs nurturing. The power was always yours. They just convinced you it wasn't. Now you know better. What are you going to do about it? The revolution starts with you. Are you ready? If this video opened your eyes, you're not alone. Millions are waking up to this truth. Share this video. The more people who know, the harder it becomes to maintain the lie. Subscribe for more hidden truths. And remember, your health is your responsibility. Take it back. What's one step you're going to take today? Let me know in the comments.